saying you.
The tag is hiding.
No, that's okay.
It's in
The clone is called Mendenhall. It's very fragrant. I was at their place on Sunday and it smelled great. So, very nice. And we have a Paphiopedilum hybrid brought in by Dale Martin. This is Paphiopedilum In Charm Lipstick. The clone is Pink Flash. I saw the judges looking at it earlier.
It's an added feature.
They were intrigued. And Dale also brings in this Australian Dendrobium hybrid, so it's a cross of a species called Speciosum, which has 4 major forms, a giant all the way down to a small form, by a cross called Warrior. So it's one parent's a species and one's a hybrid, complex hybrid. And these grow outside in the Bay Area, depending on the parentage. So this is the time they bloom. A lot of things have been in spike. I've seen in a lot of collections recently. So Dale brings in a Robichetia. This is a Vandaceous orchid. This is one called Compressa. I've not seen one this color, which is interesting. Usually it's just almost pure white, but it's really pretty. Compressa, because when you look at the flower head on, it's kind of narrow but broader from in profile.
You have to come up with
Where's that from?
Where's it from? Robichetia is an Asian genus, obviously, so I don't really know. Probably Indonesia.
There's a lot of Robichetias in burning up.
So Dale Martin brings this, and I should make people should raise their hands. I think it's good because everyone will know who you are. Dale, where's Dale's? Who was up here earlier? Gave the announcement. He brings in this Angricum, and it's called Biramensi, and it's got 2 close relatives, Infundibulary and
Should I just walk?
Eichlerianum, and I kind of can't get the 3 of them straight. Actually, I just saw this for the first time just recently. So this is the second one I've gotten to see. Anyway, I think it's a tropical African species, not a Madagascaran species. So Vanna Carney brings in 2 Mediocalcars. She brings in Mediocalcar decorotum, which is actually a surprisingly large genus, but we just see a few species. This is the only one that has more than 2 leaves. All the others are unifoliate or bifoliate. This one has a ring of leaves. And what's interesting is the bulbs come out of near the top of the former bulb. They don't come out alongside, they come out of the top of the former bulb. So it makes this really nice mat. I know some people, like Asuka, used to grow it outside in San Bruno. Mary's got a piece of that one, but she's also holding a variegated form with white margins of that one there in her right hand. So this is a New Guinean species, but we saw a species in Sulawesi, Indonesia, so it's widespread. I won't say tropical Asian, but generally montane forest in Asia, Southwest Asia. This is a plant brought in by Mr. Carl Carter. I saw he came up earlier. This wasn't on Oncidium for a long time. It's now in the genus Trichocentrum, which is unusual because Trichocentrum was always thought of as the mule-ear Oncidiums, and in the true Trichocentrums, they don't have any pseudobulbs. This one actually has distinct pseudobulbs, but genetically it's in that genus now, so it's no longer an Oncidium. It's actually a very warm-growing, bright-growing, large plant, and it makes these beautiful, large flowers. I think it's a really wonderful species.
Trichocentrum what?
Sorry, Splendidum.
Okay.
Mary's quick to do that, but she has a talk coming up, folks. She's dreading this.
Just getting you first.
So, Bill Weaver. Bill is right there in the Superman shirt. He spoke earlier too. This is his plant of Lilianceps variety linearis, and this is actually feather. What do you call this kind of? Feathery type. So if you look at it, it's got a mixture of colors on the petals. Anyway, it's a Mexican species. I'm not sure if it's one of the warmer ground ones, or do you grow this outside or just unheated? Half Moon Bay, so it's unheated there, and it gets down to 50. Gets down to freezing. All right. Right. That's good. Okay, we have this looks like another Bill plant. Has that look.
Yeah, miniature.
Let's get it as big as we can, Weaver. So this is a Sophrolalia, Dorothy Elliott. Bill hates when they do this, but probably everything in that is now a Cattleya. No, there's looks like it's got Lilianceps in it, so it's probably Leliocattleya, and this is anyway called Dorothy Elliott, and the clone is Red Hot. It's actually really nice. It's got very insect-like flowers, so that's very cool. Can you guys see that well enough?
Yeah. Planted in, it's heavy.
planted in rocks.
Yes, it's a little heavy there.
Yeah, it's just a baby.
Dave Hermeyer brings in a Restrepia. I think that would be, let me see that one. Yeah, it's Gucciolata, which is actually blends right into another species called Antinifera. So even the botanist, Dr. Carlisle Lohr, said you can't really distinguish them other than color and pattern. And even that
It's
even
a lot like mine, which is labeled
Antinifera, yeah. It's a kind of a, so and then,
Can we ask Dave where he grows it?
yeah.
Is it outside?
You're doing it
Outside.
in the hay, right? And Lynn Morrill brings in this Dendrobium Normandy NC, and I don't understand why this is a species to its own right. I don't distinguish it from a Dendrobium atroviolaceum.
So
I've heard that it's
supposedly this is from the island of Normandy in Papua New Guinea.
yeah, but there's a lot of things that have disjunct populations. Yeah, so I don't get it because it's physically not any different than atroviolaceum. But regardless, it's a beautiful species. The flowers nod. When you look at them, they're very quite colorful, and they last 3 or more months, right?
Wow.
And it's a warmer growing species, not some of these are cool growing in this section Laturia. Also, Lynn brings in this Campanulorchis, and the clone is, the species is Globifera, and it's a former Iria. The genus Iria has been split up, and that's actually stuck. A lot of things, like Maxillary got split up into a bunch of genera. They're all back in Maxillary. This is actually stuck. This
This is area
genetic work.
globifera, what is it now?
Campanulorchis.
Really?
Yeah.
I have one somewhere.
Yeah. Not a very big genus. Some of the other genera turned out pretty large, but. Andrea Lodati? Lodati. You know, I've seen you for months. It's like, I just saw I had to look at your name tag going, what's your name? Andrea. So I didn't know how you pronounce your last name. Lodati brings in a Sarcophyllus, which is an Australian genus. And this is one called Coolnura Fancy Red Edge Early. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is one of what's his name's breeding. Scott Berry, thank you. I can remember Berry, but not Scott. Anyway, I've met him several times too. Anyway, this is one of his breeding. Coolnura's maybe where he lives in New South Wales, but he uses that in all of his things. And this is a Dendrobium hybrid also. This is called Rutherford Starburst, and this is from the breeder of the nursery called Tanoni, which he's a friend of mine, Ray Clements, and he lives in Tanoni, New South Wales, about 3 or 4 hour drive from Sydney, north of Sydney. He really has some fine stuff. That's also Andrea's. Kay Klum, sitting in the front right here, brings what used to be on Psidium zappii. It's now Gomeza nova Essii.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and so that's kind of stuck. That's not gone anywhere. Most things in South America, most things, but not all, that were former Oncidiums are all now Gomezas. All of
Gomeza
that.
what?
Nova Essii, Novaeesii. It was on Psidium zappii, yeah. So all of the Brassilidium types, the crispum types, all of the Daptostonias, all of those things are now Gomezas. So Kay brings in a couple Restrepias here. She's got a Chocoensis, which is the weirdest member of that genus. It's only, I don't know if they've refound it, but they only found, I think, 2 or 3 plants ever. I don't know if they've refound it. So that's the linear leafed one, and it's the only Restrepia with where the syn sepal is the joined sepals, the little pouch or the little slipper-like, not slipper, but the little joined. And it's the only one that has split tails, and it's quite an expensive plant when you can get it. And then the other plant is Restrepia antinifera, and that's the species that said merges right into this other one called Gucciolata. It can be, and the syn sepal, again, the lateral sepals joint, can be spotted or striped or any degree of intergrades. He also brings in this Dendrochilum smithianum. This is something that's been sold around the Bay Area, and I was told by a friend who's kind of an expert in this genus. It's been sold as pulcherrimum, so if you have pulcherrimum, it's probably the same as this, but he also said it could be smithianum, so no one really has figured that one out. So, hey John, are we doing right with this thing? Cool. All right, and then we have another Dendrochilum. This is Convallaria-formi. Yes, this is this is Convallaria-formi. Kutze is quite different.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so
I
this,
couldn't read the language.
yeah, so this
I
is
knew it was
another
weird,
Dendrochilum.
weird one.
Convallaria-formi has these kind of coppery flowers, and they spiral. If you look at the flowers individually don't, but along the spike they kind of slowly spiral around the inflorescence. And Dendrochilums are really cool because they almost invariably get to be a specimen if you have them for a number of years. And Generally, they go all around the plant. This one's on a mount, so it's facing out, so they're all kind of one-sided, but generally they can make all nice specimens. And then Bill Weaver is down this end too. He brings in this medium hybrid called Street Hawk Red Light Districts. Bill, did you name this? Okay, just making sure. All right, so.
It's a great name, though.
That's a good one. You know, not as good. My favorite hybrid name is one of a Dracula I saw in Australia called Sucks, S-U-X, Dracula Sucks. So, that one was clever. Most are like, what? You named that what? I like it.
There's a Siberian William Weaver, and I said, I don't even know who's named after, it's not me.
Not you, different one? So Chris Nietro is, where's Chris? Right there. He brought in these two little minis. He brings in a Platystelli umbellata, which is actually a warm growing species in the genus. There's some cool growing, but there's a lot of warm growing ones. That's one of them. And the other one is was Pleurothallus hians or hyans, and I believe, and now this is now Stellus Keffersteini or Keffersteiniana. Anyway, very cute, fuzzy along the entire edge. Makes great macro pictures. I like it. So thank you, Chris. And Deborah I saw her earlier. Hi, Deborah brings in this Mastiviate Peach Fuzz. This is one, I'm not sure if it's the clone that got an FCC or at least an AM. Anna Chai.
Anna Chai's plant.
So, Mary, is that Vichana by Strobelii, the primary?
No, it's got, I think it's Highland Fling crossed with it.
Okay. I don't know the hybrid very well. I don't hate to admit it. I will admit it. So.
There's Monarch, something Monarch, and then it's crossed with Strobelii.
Right.
I
And
don't
Deborah
know.
brings in this Mastiviate here, unnamed, but I think I told her I think it's a primary hybrid of both in the same section, Mastiviate angulata, which has descending spikes, and then coriacea, which has strict upright spikes. I think that's why I can't make it because mine is kind of all over the place. And both belong to a section called Coriaceae, and often they smell really bad. But no one said anything, so I don't know if anyone's maybe noticed or just it doesn't do it right now.
Maybe an applause.
Did you smell it, Ron?
No, but they generally do smell, but pretty bad.
Oh.
I do. I'm gonna stick my nose in it. Thanks a lot of people to do. So John brings in a little Cattleya relative or Cattleya hybrid. So this is an Epicattleya, which I think is probably involves an encyclia because I don't see any reed stems to that. But I would say encyclia Cattleya. I don't know if they got a name for it. Any judges know what that would be called? Encyclia by Cattleya? Catcyclia. Okay. Kayuguchi by Brassolalia Cattleya Love Sound. So again, who knows what this it would be called now, but maybe just what you said.
No, it's brassy in there.
So brassy in
There's
it.
one there to read up at night.
John brings in a Fragopenia vessia, which is, oh, I see she's holding it. That's why she pushed it ahead. This is a Ecuadorian into Peruvian. Well, actually, I guess they differentiated the Peruvian species to be Gallisandra. John brings in a Fragopenia. This is the primary, John. This is the primary hybrid between Bessii and Kovachii. And John got an FCC, not on this one, but he got one. Was it weekend before last? Is it Peninsula Show?
A sibling.
A sibling.
Which is much, this one's nice, but
Right.
the FCC one is just
He's not partial in there.
I love them all.
So that's called Fragopenia Fritz Schomburg.
Beautiful.
It's a very nice cross. I think that.
And nice roots.
Yeah. So this is another of John's. This is a Fragopedium peruflorus spirit, and I guess that's Kovachii but complex
By Eric Young.
by Eric Young. So that Eric Young is
Yes,
okay.
It's really fuzzy.
Is it?
And one more plant. This is brought in also by John. This is really nice. Actually, I hate to admit it, but I photographed hybrid parvisequilum pats. So this is tell no one. So this is Pathripedalum. It's unnamed. The cross is unnamed, but it's Pathripedalum misty lantern by Armeniacum. Armeniacum being the species from southern China, from Yunnan, the bright yellow one. And that this clone he's given is Ulakan Moon as an AM with the AOS, a word of American Orchid Society.
Just got 2 weeks ago.
Just gotten a couple weeks ago. Thank you. Bill.
On that flower, right there.
All right. But I think that's it. So, nice table, small but good. All right, we'll do that. Dean Haas brings in this, well, I guess it's now dendrobium, but I don't like it, that is dendrobium. So it's Docrylia teretifolia or Dendrobium teretifolia. And for those of you who don't know this, the species name ends in the same ending as the genus. There's very few exceptions that when you hear Docrylia teretifolia or Dendrobium teretifolia. It's called it's one of the 3 species of pencil orchids in the Australian group. It's Australian. I've seen this growing in the southernmost mangroves in the world, not far from Sydney. It grows right over the water, but I've also seen it up in the forest. It's quite close to 2 other species, also called pencil orchids. Very nice.
Does it grow on the roots of the mangroves?
No, it grows on the branches overhanging the water. I'm holding on to that. All right.
I just want to let everybody know,